Hello, it's Friday. We finally made it. Thank God it's Friday, right? This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and I'm glad that you have joined me. I had to wait for the CPI numbers to come out on inflation, and I'm not happy with the numbers. It went down to 8.3 last month, and now we're right back up to 8.6%, which means we're in trouble. We are now officially in a recession. We cannot have an economy this weak. We cannot have the American people suffering every single time they go and buy food and at the gas pump. And listen, if Biden is wanting us to go out and buy an electric car, I'm sorry, I can't even afford a tomato. I'm not kidding. I mean, it is expensive out there. So we're at 8.6%, and it probably is going to go even more higher for the month of June, because as we can see, for the days that we've been in June, gas has gone up, food has gone up. So expect a higher number for inflation for June. But I'm telling you this, that 8.6 number just is not right. It's much more than that. Because if you look at the inflationary period that we have been in, we have consistently seen these numbers go up and up and up and up and up. And we are in trouble. If the Treasury Secretary cannot understand and she misguides us about inflation, and then she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake." And while all the rest of us knew, because we were feeling it at the store, we're feeling it when we go put our savings into our gas tank. We felt it. We felt it going up, and we know it has been going up. I did that story yesterday on the trucker who told the story about how much he's putting in gas every single day. He knows it's gone up. He knows that we're in an inflationary time. He knows that we're gone into recession. We have had all these warning signs from all over the place. And we had Jamie Dimon who said, "Oh, the economy's just fine." Now he's saying there's going to be a hurricane of badness, of economic badness. Listen, Biden wants to put in front of the American people again this, what is it called? Build Back Better America again, BBBA. And it's such a bad bill that it's going to do more harm to the American people than anything else. This last week, the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen testified before the Senate Finance Committee and also the House Ways and Means Committee. I get updates from these two committees every single day. And it's nonstop, sometimes even 2 and 3 times a day, of what's going on in this committee. So she wanted to present the president's fiscal year for 2023 and the budget proposal that he wants to present. And it all encompasses inflation, clean energy, prescription drug pricing, semiconductors, and the global tax agreement were among some of the topics of these two committees. But if you look at the numbers, combined with the tax increases in the Build Back Better Act, BBBA, which the budget assumes becomes law, he's assuming that, I'm hoping that it doesn't, Biden is proposing raising revenue by more than $4 trillion, primarily from new taxes on U.S. businesses and individuals. Now, you would think that someone with a bright something in their minds, a brain, if they have a brain, that they say, "Oh my God, the American people are suffering from inflation, but let's go ahead and raise taxes. Let's go ahead and hurt the small business guy. Let's go ahead and hurt the American taxpayer. They don't mind paying more." That's going through his mind. Oh, there's going to be some suffering. Oh, yes, we're going to go through this period of time. No, we're not. If you're expecting me to go out and buy a $50,000 Tesla, no, you're absolutely crazy. I can't even afford that stupid tomato in the store. We have a president that is not thinking logically. We have a Congress that is not thinking with a bunch of brains either. So the proposed budget that he wants to do creates several minimum taxes that would greatly increase the complexity within the tax code. Now, that's not something that we need. The tax code does not need to be more complex. I'm telling you as a tax guy, and I've been doing taxes since 1984, so that's a long time. It is not the right time to be talking about raising taxes on the American people or businesses. Now, I like what was said by the Tax Foundation. There's a Daniel Byrne. Rather than introduce one new minimum tax after another, Congress should have the courage to fundamentally reform and strip away the complexity of our tax code. And he's absolutely correct with that because the tax code is so complex. Remember, we said in the Trump administration, we are going to simplify this tax code. And they did slightly, but not enough. The tax code needs to be revamped from head to foot. To file a simple tax return, it should be just like one page. It really should be. But no, it turns out to be 17 pages, 20 pages, and it keeps going on. It's so complex. And now with these new taxes, it's going to become even more complex. Every time you add a new tax code to the Internal Revenue Service, it becomes complex because once it leaves the Congress and goes over to the Senate, not the Senate, but over to the IRS, the IRS attorneys sit down and then they begin reading what the tax code actually means, and it turns out totally different. That is not what we need. We need to simplify this tax code. So according to the Tax Foundation's model, the tax increases in BBA alone would reduce long-term GDP by 0.5% and eliminate 125,000 jobs. Every time someone says 125,000 jobs, double it, triple it, 4 times it. The proposals would raise new government revenue by the cost of the economy. At the cost of the economy. At the cost of the economy. BBB raises revenue at the cost of the economy. That's you and me. We are the cost. We are the economy. So it's raising the tax burden on work, saving, and investment, and putting us out of step with our competitors. Do you realize that the United States now is the highest tax rate in the world? We're at the highest. Our inflationary time is at the highest. And people don't understand this, that when our inflation is high, it spreads out to the rest of the world because we are the leaders of the economy. No matter what they say about China. China maneuvers their yen around and they are not truthful with what it really is about. They manipulate it. So their economy is, I am not quite sure if it's a fake economy, a real economy, or what it is, but they manipulate their numbers. But we are the leaders of this free world, and our economy is looked at every single day, and as people put in investments in here, put in money into the United States, build buildings in the United States, put companies here, they look at what our economy is doing. And Americans have now got to step back and say, okay, this has gone far enough. This has been going on since the beginning of the pandemic. The inflationary period has gone up. And once Biden took office and he erased all of the incentives of our economic system, which included the energy sector, inflation zoomed up. So that is our problem. We're in a situation now that Americans are being hurt. 8.6 is way too high. Again, I'm telling you that number is just cannot be right, because that's not what I'm experiencing when I go and buy my tomato. When I go in and put gas in my car, which I've got to do. I just looked at the gas meter in my car and it's getting down to a low number. And I've tried to hold off, hoping that the gas prices would begin to drop, but they're not. What a mess we have gotten ourselves into. Do you understand how our vote really matters? Of how we vote in people that know what they're doing and not just politicians that don't know what they're doing? Who have never run anything? Who have never paid a payroll? Who has never created anything? Who has never driven a truck down the road for business? I mean, if we have these people who have not had the experience of the economy and who have been in government all their life and who have been in academia all their life, who have not experienced the real world, how can they run a real country, a real economy, a real democracy? How can they do it if they don't have the experience? I mean, you and I, if we were hiring somebody for our business, we would hire somebody that is bringing in the experience level that we need to run our business. But that's not what we did. We voted somebody in based purely on hate politics. That's what happened. And by the way, if you watch that show that the Democrats put on last night in Congress on January 6th, I'm sorry. If you have to have teleprompters to deliver your message, you're putting on a show. You are not putting on real facts. And by the way, they were missing so much of that factual information. They cut off bits and pieces of tweets and of statements and everything else. They did not. In fact, by the way, how could it even be considered a democracy when the other side doesn't have the ability to make their statements, to present their facts? So what was done last night, and by the way, the Democrats on that committee are already out campaigning and raising money based upon what they did last night. They got free publicity. But I'm afraid that it probably is going to backfire on them, because I think the American people see what went on. The economy should not be about politics, and that's what it is about at the moment. We need to really tell the members of the Senate and the Congress, stop your political nonsense and sit down and start doing something for the American people, because we are in trouble. Listen, that's it for today. This is Friday. Thank God it's Friday, right? And we are going to go out and we're going to have a good weekend. No politics this weekend. No nonsense. No nothing. But if you're going to go out and buy groceries, just remember, 8.6, it went up. That's going to cost you more. If you want to have more access to me and my business advisory services and mediation services, go to my website, which is www.lodge.co.com. Again, that's www.lodge.co.com. If you want to support my podcast, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. Again, that's buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. All my podcasts are there. All my blogs are there. In fact, even the CPI economic numbers are there. Go there, read it. Help me out. God bless you. This is Friday. Bye-bye. Talk with you soon.